All right, YouTube family, what is up? What is up? So today I got a special guest that's going to come on and it's going to drop some massive, massive knowledge to help you guys take your life and most importantly, your bank account to a whole nother level. Nick, what is up, dude?
Hey, man. Thanks for having me on, King. I'm
Hey, dude,
excited to deliver.
I got to say, hey, man, thank you so much for taking the precious time to be on here with me, man.
Yeah, likewise. And listen, I love our kindred spirits to pour into other people so they can have the experience of life that we have.
Love it, man. Are you ready to change some lives and some bank account, bro?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it.
Awesome. So, Nick, for those of you who don't know, for those people that don't know who you are, man, just a little bit of background about yourself, where you were to kind of where you are now, man.
Yeah, man. Hey, I was that all-American guy having the all-American dream. I used to fly 747s around the world. I had that $250,000 a year job working for a Fortune 50 company, the wife, the kids, the dog, the whole thing. And then the reality hit. I realized I was just a really well-paid slave. And that process that I went through is I got laid off. I lost all that revenue. And I said, you know what? Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Realizing that you're a slave, you never want to go back to it. So I set down the path of learning financial freedom. And King, man, I'm a really slow learner. So it took me a minute. And over the course of listening to great guys like yourself, Robert Kiyosaki, guys like that I realized that wealth doesn't come from working for other people. I joke now that I'm not employable anymore. And the reality of it is I learned the most important business in the world. And I learned banking. And I read this phenomenal book called Becoming Your Own Banker by Nelson Nash. And God put in my life the Michael Jordan of our business, Jim Oliver, to teach me the ins and outs of that and to get my passive income to meet or exceed my ideal standard of living. And if anybody's ever played the game Cash Flow by Robert Kiyosaki, it's about getting out of the rat race, right? So that we get to do what we want to do when we want to do it.
Dude, love it, man. So, Nick, here's my questions, bro. Let's just say that so the average income in America is about $56,000 a year. So my question for you is, let's just say that I'm stuck at a JOB, dude, and I'm miserable, right? I'm tired. I need a game plan, dude. I need a game plan. I'm making $56,000 a year. I'm just living paycheck to paycheck.
Yep.
So the game plan. So give me a game plan, Nick, that I can escape it the quickest.
Yeah. So we need a couple things. First, it starts between our ears, right? It's we become what we think about.
Love it.
Earl Nightingale said, "In the strangest secret, we become what we think about." And if you go to our podcast called Breakaway Wealth, you can pull up the strangest secret. And I listen to it at least weekly. Sometimes I go through periods where I listen to it daily. And so we got to start there and we got to know what we want. So I actually use an exercise all the time, King. It's called the R factor question. Dan Sullivan with Strategic Coach famously put this question out there. And it says this simple question. If we're sitting here today, 3 years from now, looking back at today, what are all the things that have to happen both personally and professionally for us to be happy with our progress? So now I know where I want to be, right? Because everybody, when you're not happy, it's because you don't sense you're making progress in life, right? So it comes back to the way we're thinking, right? We want to live in the gain, not the gap. We don't want to be measuring ourselves against our ideal, right? We want to be measuring ourselves by where we've come from. So we got to start there. Like, what is it that you want? And that's different for everybody. Okay. Yep. Then you need a guide, right? You and I are guides. We're not the heroes of our story. You got millions of followers on social media. I might have 3. I don't know. Don't care. All right. But here's the reality is we're guides. We have an opportunity to guide people through this transformation. Okay. So what does that look like for everyone? I don't know, but I got to be willing to think. I got to be willing to rethink my thinking. Nelson Nash said it that way in his book. I got to know what I want. And now we're going to do what Tony Robbins says to do is go find somebody that has what you want and go learn everything you can from them. So if I want to be the master of wholesaling and learning how to talk to that prospective seller, then I'm going to tune into you, because I love listening to your examples when you're talking to that seller. If you want to learn how to be your own banker, then learn from the guys that are experts of being your own banker. So just find that thing that moves you, that's your passion, and then let's go on this ride together.
Dude, Nick, so my thing is now that I got my mindset shift, all right? And you mentioned about Nightingale, The Strangest Secret. Dude, I highly recommend that you guys haven't listened to it. And if you listen to it, but if your life haven't changed, my friend, it's because you don't understand. So you need to re-listen to it. Because a lot of times what you do is like, once you re-listen to it, you find like the book hasn't changed. But you know what changed? Is you have changed. So which means is a lot of times you reread it or re-listen to it, whatever it is, you'll find something new all the time. It's because you at a different place in your life. So the first time it might not show up, but then you're at a different place, all of a sudden that thing just show up. And you're like, oh, I didn't even know it was there. But dude, The Strangest Secret, the wifey, dude, she's like she's very spiritual. She's the one who like meditates, sit down and hum and do all that, bro. But yeah, that's one of her favorite book.
Hey, so when you're doing that R factor, okay, so do that today. I would just recommend anybody listening to this, just do it. There's not a right or a wrong answer. But then I want you to go another level, is every 3 months, do it again, because it changes. As we go along that journey, our goals, they change, right?
Yep.
My goals now are bigger than my goals last year, right?
Yep. Yeah, dude, Nick, I remember making $8.50 an hour. And every day, dude, I'm just thinking, Khang. And this is thinking small and playing small. But a lot of times, it's just you don't know what you don't know, right? And at that time, I wasn't exposed. I was like 19. I was living in a shed behind a mobile home park. I wasn't exposed to Think and Grow Rich. I wasn't exposed to Nick. I wasn't exposed to Nightingale, like all these great books that teaches you, right, all about mindset and mindset shift. Dude, I was just trying to get from $8.50 to $9. Nick, I spent my time sleeping, thinking, what do I need to do to get from $8.50 to $9 an hour? And bro, I remember going in and got that 50 cents raise from the JO. Dude, it was I felt extremely happy. I felt like a big accomplishment. And another thing that you touch base on, Nick, that I absolutely agree with you, is when it's basically growth. People don't see progress, right? Well, when you don't see the progress, that's when you give up. But if each and every single day, if you were to see the progress, but a lot of times the progress might be underneath the surface, right? So if you plant the seeds, you might not see you might not see it grow, and you're like, oh man, it's a dead seed, right? Shit, that thing ain't gonna grow. But what happened is that it takes years for it to take roots. So that's why faith comes in. You got to believe in yourself, and you got to have the faith and the belief that it will grow, right? That you will get to where you want it to be. And all you do is you just put your head down. You don't watch anybody do. Just focus on your own journey. Just put your head down and just do it day by day. And I promise you, by the time you wake up, like Nick, the wifey, dude. So I took her to Canada, and out of nowhere, we're driving home, and I heard the sound her voice changes. I look over and she started crying. And I didn't know what was going on. And so she was just talking to me. But I said, call on, this will make good content. It will motivate and inspire a lot of people. And you cannot redo this scene. Like, it was raw. I picked up the camera and I recorded her. And she said, Khang, and she was crying at the same time she was saying all of this. So yesterday she was calculating her outfit. Because so typically on social media, I'll do a fit check, right? I'll go around as a fit check. She calculated up, and her total fit was $71,000. Now, when she was a kid, she used to look at these magazines of celebrity, and they like on the side of the magazine, it would show like how much their jeans is, how much their shirt, how much they like all of that. And that's her kid. She was like, whoa, right? Like her dream was like, man, I wish one day.
Right.
But she didn't realize that her dreams has come true
Yeah.
way before. And she just realized it today. It's because because all we did was put her head down. We just grind. And all of a sudden she woke up and she's like, dude, I have accomplished my dream way long ago. And she was crying and she's like, me and mom used to live in a shed behind a mobile home park. And,
Yeah.
we were all worried about, turning off the electricity and making sure that, and Lana and I used to go to the laundromat to get our clothes dry and clean. And like, that's what happened when you just freaking focus on your own journey. And you just look down, you just grind and you just zone out the noise, my friend. Don't look at the mountain, but just look at the road, just one step at a time. I promise you, right? Your day too will come.
Yeah, it's kind of like, you got a cross on, right? And there's really 3 answers to every prayer: no, yes, or not yet. And God's time is always perfect, right? Like, in hindsight, could I go down the path that I wish I would have learned about what I know now earlier? Sure, but it wasn't the way it was supposed to be. And so my peril, probably a little bit like yourself, is we want to go fast, right?
Yep.
We want to have the returns right today, right?
Yep.
We're Olympians. That's the way we're wired, man. Like, bring it all on, and I'm going to get the gold medal in everything I do. But we got to trust that process, right? And that's why having good accountability partners. You got Lon seems like an incredible partner. I got Jim Oliver as my incredible partner, along with my wife, who, we know where we're going, right?
I love it.
And then we trust the plan.
Absolutely, dude, love it. So Nick, show me the best part. How do I become my own banker?
Yeah, you've read a couple real estate investing books, I take it, right?
Dude, to be honest with you, dude, I'm not a reader.
Okay.
I actually have not read like the whole, Rich Dad Poor Dad, which is extremely popular, right?
Yeah.
Everybody that gets into real estate probably have read it. I've never read it.
All right. Hey, I respect that. But here's the thing is, I know that a whole lot of your audience has read a real estate investing book. And here's the thing. Most people think they're reading a book about real estate investing, but they're actually not. Ooh. They're actually reading a book about one very powerful word, and it's leverage. Ooh. And what people do not understand is the power of leverage. So here's the thing. All of your money is flowing through somebody's bank, okay? Whether it's Wells Fargo, Chase, you name it, it's going through somebody else's bank. And what are they doing? They take that deposit. So King, let's say you go down and you deposit $100,000 at your bank. Is that an asset or a liability to that bank?
That'd be an asset.
Well, hey, listen, I don't want you to feel bad. Everybody answers that wrong. So you're like right there in the group with everybody. Only the CPAs answer this right, because they have to pay you that deposit back when you want it. They have to lend that money out. The loan is the asset. Okay.
Ooh, okay.
Every financial institution is doing the same thing. They're bringing in dollars. They're using your money and they're lending it out to make interest, right? They're making money. And then the bank, in this case, pays you a little bit of pittance of that interest that they went and earned. Now, I'm going to use an old number. It's 2016. It's Bank of America's number. Bank of America made 2,600% on every deposit dollar. Okay. Now, the depositor barely made any money. The borrower paid money, but the bank owner made all that money. Now, every bank in America is doing that. Okay. They're all, like, every financial institution. So if that's going on, why wouldn't you want to be that owner? So what we do is we show people how to take control of their money. So in the financial world, there's a game being played so well that most people don't even realize there's a game being played. So let me ask you something, King. How much of your money does the bank want?
How much of my money does the bank want?
Yep.
Dude. Okay. So earlier, yeah, correct. Earlier, dude, I answered that question with confidence. I'm like, yes, it's an asset. No, motherfucker, it's a liability. But yes, well, obviously the bank wants you to deposit as much of your money as possible.
How long do they want it?
As long as possible.
And how much of it do they want to give back to you?
Barely nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing if they can.
Yeah, that's right. So every financial institution is just like that. All the financial advising firms, listen, I got great friends that are financial advisors, but here's the thing. The whole system is about being in control of your money. Now, how well is that working out for everybody? It's not.
Not very good.
No. So what we have to do, like Nelson said, we have to rethink our thinking. How do we rethink our thinking to take place of the bank? How do we become the bank? The banks out there, the financial institutions, they don't want you to know what we know. So you're learning the secrets of financial freedom right here. Okay.
Right.
Because very few people know about this. Everyone that does understand it is doing it. Okay. So we have to be willing to be the owner of the bank. Okay. So we use a very specifically designed life insurance contract to do this. It's not the policy your State Farm agent can give you. It's not some tricked out universal life policy. We use a very specifically designed whole life policy to do this. And frankly, it's boring. Okay. The policy itself is boring. It's not about the rates of return. Okay. Anytime somebody on the internet is talking about rates of return in a life insurance contract, just run. It's gimmick. Okay. Because they're focused on the wrong thing. It's about what you're doing with your money. Okay. Infinite banking is about a process, not a product. Okay. And if we understand the product that we're the provisions of the product, so we put money into a policy just like you make deposits into your bank. Okay. All right. Then we use the insurance company's money. They place a lien on our money that's in the policy. We get the insurance company's money to go build wealth. Now, remember what I said was about leverage. This is all about leverage. When I'm a policyholder with a mutual insurance company, which is one only the policyholders own, I get first dibs on their money pool to borrow it to do whatever I want with. So, King, if I would lend you $100 million right now, and a year from now, you only have to pay me $5 million in interest, would you take the loan?
Yes.
That's right. So that's because you know what to do with the money. And I love how you didn't even flinch. Okay.
Yeah.
Because some people flinch, right? But let's reverse that deal and let's just talk about what I would do. I would take your 100 million, which if you're willing to lend me this, we'll get my attorney on the phone after this recording.
If I have it.
Yeah. So I'm going to take your 100 million. I'm going to go get 400 million from the commercial bank, and I'm going to go buy 500 million of cash flow real estate. Now, if I'm just earning 5% on the 500 million, that's 25 million a year. Okay. Now, a year from now, I come meet you and Lon for lunch, and I say, hey, I've got your 5 million. And you say, hey, do you want to pay any principal? And I say, no, man, I got it working. It's good. I'll pay you the 25 million. I got the 5 million for you next year. You go, okay, great. Works for you. You're on the beach having fun. I'm building this wealth with it. I got 20 million of cleared profit. You got your 5 million and life is good. That's how the life insurance contracts work. Is I get the ability to earn up to 100% of my equity in a policy of the insurance company's money, and I get to go build wealth with it.
Nick, I think this right here, man, will be my first podcast that I'm going to launch. Dude,
all right.
What we're talking right. Okay, so let's talk with a number that I have or that I can understand. So let's just say that I got 5 million in my bank, Nick.
Yep.
Walk me through this, bro. So everybody listens, because whatever I can only understand about maybe a quarter of what you just said. So let's just say that I got $5 million.
You got 5 million in your own banking system.
So what do I do?
All right. So you have let's just say we're going to keep the numbers simple. Let's say that you find a $5 million opportunity.
Yep.
Okay. If you wanted to go borrow 5 million from a commercial bank, it's a big process, right? It's a big pain in the rear. If you had 5 million sitting in a brokerage account earning 5% somewhere, that's a problem, because if you go use that money, if you have to take it out of there, then it stops earning interest, right? You have to decide, is that money in my checking account or brokerage account, or is it in the real estate? But we're going to talk about, hey, this is in the life insurance contract. Okay. So You don't ask for a loan. You tell them you want a loan. You have first dibs on this. So you say, hey, life insurance company, send me my $5 million. Send me $5 million. The next day you have it wired to you and you go buy that real estate opportunity. Okay. Now, while you bought the real estate, your money continues to grow uninterrupted in the policy.
Okay. Okay. Hold on a second, Nick. So the life, okay. So you're telling me that I can call my life insurance and tell them, hey, I want to borrow 5 million.
If you have 5 million in there, you can borrow up to $5 million of the insurance company's money.
Basically 100% of whatever I put in.
Yep.
And you set this up as what? Whole life insurance?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you're saying that my 5M is still sitting in that account. It's still earning interest.
Yep.
While they're going to loan me the 5M for me to go buy real estate.
Yep.
How does that like?
So remember, the life insurance company is just like every other big financial institution.
Yep.
They take premium dollars and they got to put it to work. Okay.
Yep.
Here's the cool thing. As a contract owner, as a policy owner, I get first dibs on that money. So when I borrow the insurance company's money, they have to put it to work. I just get to do it first. And so then I get to go build wealth with that.
So okay. So Nick, here's where I don't understand. So where do they get? So if I'm earning interest on my 5M, and let's just say you put in 5M and everybody put in 5M, and they all withdraw their 5M, there wouldn't be any 5M in that account.
There would be, because they got to put the money to work, remember?
Right. But if they were to loan me the 5M that I just put in, right?
Yep. So just
like
yeah. So there's also something to keep in mind. In the entire industry of life insurance, less than 10% of policies actually have a loan on them.
Got it. See, now it makes sense. So which means that not everybody know about this or actually take on the opportunity to actually do this. So majority of the time, their money is just sitting in there. It's for the people who understand and know how to use it and where and how they're going to use their money. It's actually going to be the one who benefit from it, right?
Yeah, but also everybody could take a loan because the life insurance company has that type of capital sitting on hand. They actually have that type of capital. It's unbelievable the amount of reserves these insurance companies have. But but the reality of it is that I think it's like 8% of all policies have a loan on them.
Got it, man. And Nick, what kind of interest are we earning?
Well, so you're earning 3%, but remember you're earning 3% on an increasing balance. And the interest that you might pay might be like 4%.
Okay.
But if I'm going to go purchase cash flow real estate or buy a business, that interest that I'm going to pay is going to be a tax write-off. Okay. And I'm paying the interest on a decreasing loan balance. It's an interest only unstructured loan, meaning I don't ever have to pay the loan back if I don't want. It's the perfect loan. And I'm only going to pay the interest back once a year. So you can't even get that. And you can't even get this loan at a bank.
Dude, okay. So let's just say I go there, I put 5M, they loan me the 5M. What's the interest rate on that 5M?
4%.
Cheap. Okay.
Cheap money.
Yep. Cheap money right now. So 4%. And you're telling me that there's no time frame that I need to pay back that 5M?
No, remember my $100 million example. I just said, hey, I'm going to keep the 100 million out. Every year I'll pay you the 5 million.
Correct.
Sounds like a deal. And that works for the insurance company.
Holy shit. Now, Nick, I think a lot of people, it's probably just like me right now, listening to this and say, dude, this too good to be true, bro.
That's okay. It's not too good to be true. Here's the thing. Every Fortune 500 company does this. Every major bank in America does this. Half of Congress and both of the knuckleheads that ran for president last time, they do this as well. The people that understand this do it.
Yep. Got it. So, Nick, my questions to you is, So you're telling me if everybody would understand this, they would put their money there instead of in the bank.
Yeah, because you get both. I get my
Right.
money in the policy. It's a tax shelter.
Right.
Okay. The money growing in there will never be taxed if you do this right. And the most powerful word, and I get to use the money to build wealth. If my money is in a bank,
Yep.
it's not protected. It's exposed to taxation. It's not even
Right.
sort of insured properly. And if I want to use it to buy real estate or anything, I always interrupt my compounding.
Now, Nick, I mean, when I look at everything, I understand there's a pro and there's a con, right? And you just have to wait it out, right? The good and the bad. What's the downside?
Yeah, the downside is that you don't use it. Money, motion's a law of God. Okay, so if air doesn't flow through your lungs, you die. If
Correct.
if water doesn't flow, it's stagnant and poisonous, and if money doesn't flow, it's dead money. So one of the biggest risks of this is that people will just fund it and they won't use it ever. Okay, because you want to go build wealth with it, right? Another risk is if you steal the peas. That's what we call it. So you borrow the money, you never pay it back. You're not building wealth with it. You're borrowing the money to go on vacations, and you're just stealing the money. Like, you got to be a business owner. You got to think like a business owner, right? And if I'm going to use money, then I better be getting at least a 10x return on my money over some period of time. So those are the big and another risk is people don't put enough money into this. People go, hey, this is an investment. It's not an investment. It's a money pool, right? So people will dabble. They may have 5 million in their checking account and they go, hey, I'm going to put like 100 grand a year into this. No, if I had 5 million sitting in my checking account, I'd be putting in, 1.25 million a year to 2 million a year into my banking system. And we have clients that do that. That's kind of our specialty, is working with higher net worth individuals that are putting a lot of money through this in complicated business situations. And that's what we're here for. So those are the big risk. The downside risk of like the insurance companies becoming insolvent, they're virtually zero if we understand NIAC ratios and statutory reserves with an insurance company. They're insanely solvent.
Got it. Now, Nick, now I'm going to use an example of, like, let's just say 100K, because I think a lot of people would have that kind of amount. So if I take if I leave the 100K in the bank account, obviously it doesn't make me anything. And so if I take the 100K and I put it into this whole life insurance, they're going to loan me back the 100K, right?
Yep.
Now and I never have to pay that back. And let's just say I put that 100K into and let's just say we go out there and I buy an investment property and it was a bad investment. Now I can't pay you back the 100K.
We've all been there.
Either you're going to start a business or you're going to do whatever with it. But hey, maybe you make a dumb choice. Now, if I can't pay back, what happened?
Yeah. So here's the cool thing is all you got to do is pay the interest on that loan until you turn the next trick, right? All right. Because here's the thing. If you get knocked down, are you going to stay down? No. So you and your audience and myself, we're resilient, right? So we're going to get back up. We're going to dust ourselves off and we're going to go, get back in the batter's box. So here's the cool thing though. Your 100,000 is still in the policy earning interest. Okay. It never left your account. You owe the insurance company 100 grand at some point. But in the meantime, you're out back in the batter's box, finding the next deal that's going to, you're going to win, and you'll eventually pay back the 100,000.
Okay. So, but Nick, let's just say, I look at this now as like a credit card. So obviously, if you don't pay your credit card on time or whatever it is, right? Boom, your credit gets dinked after a while. Boom. If you stop paying it, obviously, things gets worse. So my question to you is, like, what's the worst can happen where I couldn't even afford to pay the interest when the year comes?
You could just fold the policy and there's no harm, no foul. You owe nothing. You just walk away. So here's the thing. There's a huge difference. Okay. So there's controlled debt / leverage, and there's uncontrolled leverage. So the credit card is uncontrolled leverage. If you can't pay it, that's going to hurt you, right? If you can't pay your car loan, they're going to repo your car. If you can't pay your mortgage, they're going to foreclose on your house. If if you just simply can't pay the life insurance company anymore, the policy just goes away.
Got it. So basically, you just lost your 100K.
Yeah, you just lost your 100K either way, right? So let's just say that, you put $1 million a year into your policy and you got 20 million of death benefit and you've got 5 million of loans out and you die. Well, the insurance company is just going to take the 5 million of outstanding loans off the death benefit and they're going to give your estate the other 15 million.
Got it.
So, and your estate gets to keep all the real estate that you went and bought with their money.
Yep. I got you, bro. Like, so when I look at this, it's basically let's just say if you have 100K sitting in the bank and you take that 100K to go start your own business or whatever it is, right? You can't claim taxes off of that. But by putting it in here, getting a loan on it, and now that can be a tax write-off.
That's right. The interest that you're going to pay the insurance carrier is a tax write-off. The IRS even agrees. We meet with people, CPAs, often to explain it to them. And we even have a IRS interpretation letter that we share with CPAs that explains how it all works. Nice.
So Nick, where can people go and learn more of this, bro?
Hey, so we got a couple resources. Go to createtailwind.com and join our community. So we have a free community. It's educational community. You can either download it right from your app store on your phone. Just type in Create Tailwind, all one word, and go in there. Watch the course called What is IBC? It's just an overview course. It's a lot of what I said today. Or you can go right to our website and there's a join button right in the middle. You can do that. And we'd be happy to guide people along the way. There's no risk, there's no cost to just learning. But at the end of the day, you're going to know about being involved in the most powerful business in the entire world, which is banking.
Nice, man. And Nick, what types of clients do you guys work with?
Yeah, our ideal client is a business owner. And I look at real estate investors as business owners because you're not in the real estate game. You're in the business ownership game. And then those people that are free thinkers. Listen, if you think your financial advisor is got your best interest at heart and you're married to them, we're not the ideal people for you. But if you're a free thinker and a business owner, then we absolutely would love to help you.
I love it. Nick, when you say the word thinker, dude, there's one book that came to my mind, and Lon and I, we don't read books, but we listen to like audio because I am not a reader, dude. I'm bad with reading and writing. Like you tell me to read something, like I'll read it, but you tell me like I wouldn't even understand it. Okay. Yeah. I don't think I've ever finished a book in my life, bro. So when you say thinker, so Lon and I read, we listen to the audio book, and I highly recommend you guys listen to it or check it out. It's called Outwitting the Devil, where in there, Napoleon Hill explains you're either a thinker or you're a drifter. And most people are drifter. They do what 97% of doing. Wake up, sleep, clock in, clock out, right? The weekend, like they just don't think, dude, right? They're not a thinker. And I think Rockefeller is the one that he doesn't want to build a nation of thinker. He wants to build a nation of drifter. So if you don't want to be the black sheep, right? If you want to become a thinker, go give my man Nick a follow. Nick, where can they follow you, dude?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram. We're on Facebook, Nick Costco. We're on YouTube under Create Tailwind, and we'd love to help you.
Awesome. Nick, any last word that you want to say so we can wrap this podcast up, man?
No, man. Hey, I encourage everyone to break away from the herd. Nothing good happens in the herd, and you got to be willing to rethink your thinking and become what you think about, just as Earl Nightingale said, man. And that would be my recommendation to everyone. Awesome.
And this is my translation to what Nick just said. You either get rich or be a little bitch. All right. That'll be your choice, right? You either be the boss or you work for a boss. You either be your own bank or you deposit into another bank and be a little bitch. That's all I got to say. Nick, I want to say, dude, thank you so much for your time. I really, really enjoy this, man. And I think this is the one of the podcast that really got me thinking. And I've learned so much from this. And I'm going to reach out to you, bro.
Thank you, bud. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you, Nick. Thank you so much, dude.
Peace.
Take care, bro. Yep. Anyways, you guys, wrapping this up, I hope you guys enjoy this podcast just as much as me and Nick. And you can see it that he really really, really enjoy it, and just giving back and basically just sharing knowledge. Right now, once again, knowledge without execution is worthless, in my opinion. So even after you listen, you watch a bunch of YouTube, listen to a bunch of podcasts, read a lot of books, but if you don't execute, if your life haven't changed, if your bank is not where you want it to be, then my friend, you haven't taken enough action. Knowledge without execution is worthless. Knowledge plus execution is what's power. The info there, the choice is yours. I'll see you in the next video. Until next time, take care, and let's go get this money done.